What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and today we are bringing you our Week 4 picks. I have Week 3 picks on here, but that is wrong. We are in Week 4. And you have the standings in front of you, and this does include Thursday night. You know, the server, the team, or whatever we are, I don't know what we call ourselves, the squad, whatever. We're still undefeated on Thursday nights. We had a little bit of a scare. Thursday night with the Bengals game.
Yeah, a little bit.
But we have Lucky in first place. Mr. Consistent, just getting 13 points week in, week out. That's what he does, folks. At 40 points. Gators still holding down second with 33. Bucks with 31. And myself still in last at 28. That week one is killing me. That week one is absolutely killing me. Everyone had a good week last week. I think Lucky and Bucks had 13 points last week. Myself and Gators had 12. Everyone had a good week. So, you know, we're building off of that really, really poor showing, like, especially for me and Bucks week one. We were not good week one. Especially.
Nope.
Especially.
Very bad.
So let's get right into the picks. And the first one that we have, the only one where we have 2-2 this week, is the Lions and Bears. I was really surprised at this one, honestly. You two, Lucky and Bucks, you guys took the Lions. This is Lucky's upset pick of the week. And myself and Gators took the Bears. So I can't speak for Gators. Why I took the Bears this week, I think the Lions are just going to be absolutely deflated after losing that Justin Tucker 66-yard field goal last week. I think I know why you guys picked them. I thought about it for a second. You know, they looked pretty good last week. They played the Ravens. Ravens are a good team. Ravens are a much better team than the Bears. They played the Ravens really, really tough. Bears are at home, which I like. I think this is a very, very good chance for Justin Fields to get his first win as a starter. And I think the Lions are just going to come out flat, deflated after that tough loss at home last week. So, Lucky, you made this your upset pick of the week, so what do you think?
I think the Bears, I mean, who knows who's starting at quarterback, but I think they just looked awful last week. Like, I know everything, like, things change, but when you only get like 60-something yards of total offense in the game, I think because of how sacks counted, they had 1 passing yard. They look bad, and I don't know if they're going to keep trying as hard. And, like, the Lions, as much as they're not a great team, they're going to keep trying, I think, for Mr. Biting Kneecaps coach there, at least at the beginning of the season. So I think it's a division game. I think they're going to look at this and be like, hey, I think we can get a win.
Right.
And they've played all their good games. I mean, against San Francisco, they were getting blown out, and then they almost came back in the second half. And then against the Packers, they looked good the first half until things got, the Packers just came by and blew them out.
Right. And
both of those teams have a much better offense than the Bears. And then they played really close to the Ravens and were, you know, in a 66-yard field goal and a missed delay of game from winning that game. So
that's fair. I 100% understand. Bucks, what do you think?
I'm 100% Lucky. So far, the Lions have played really good teams, potential playoff teams, and they have kept it close each time. And the Bears have just looked pretty goddamn awful. Like, Fields, the past 2 games combined, has like 120 yards passing. That is atrocious.
What I still think is absolutely hilarious when it comes to Justin Fields is how after his first preseason game, he wanted to go out there and comment about how slow the game looked.
Yeah.
And he's looked like absolute dog shit ever since.
I think Nagy, there's no goddamn way. If they lose like 2 more games, I think they're just boop, get out of here.
You think they'll just draft a quarterback number like first round and just get rid of him?
No, I think
the coach.
Nagy's
the coach.
getting fired.
Oh, Nagy. Okay, I just talked about Fields. I thought you meant Justin Fields.
Oh, no.
We got a Josh Rosen situation here.
I mean, it's possible.
It is definitely possible. If he looks that bad again, like if he just
but then again,
all season,
the Bears are atrocious. The Bears are just bad, especially on offense.
So, I mean, I don't disagree with what you guys say. I could just really see the Lions just coming out super flat after that game last week, after how they lost. But
that's the thing with their coach. He's so high energy.
Patricia, yeah.
I
No,
don't
no,
know.
not Patricia.
They don't have
Dan
Patricia
Campbell.
anymore. That's right.
Dan
Dan Campbell. Yeah,
That's right.
he's
They don't have
he's the type of guy. I doubt he lets that happen.
That's true. So we'll see what happens. So moving on. And this next one, I'm really, really glad someone picked him because I wanted to talk about this game. Pretty sure Bucks knows what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm a fan of. We got the Panthers and the Cowboys. Lucky picked my Panthers. My Panthers. I wanted to. As again, another game I kind of wanted to, but I'm really glad someone did because I did want to talk about this game. But first, Lucky, what do you see that makes you think my Panthers are going to go to 4-0 and stay at first place in the NFC South for another week? Sole first.
I want to see if they're legit. I mean, their defense is legit. Their defense looks good. It's kind of going to be a defense versus offensive battle because obviously the Cowboys' offense has looked good. But yeah, I think they're better than the Eagles, and Darnold's looked decent, a lot better than in New York. And
Yes.
I don't trust if it's a close game. I don't trust Mike McCarthy at all.
No, I don't either.
Were you guys watching the Monday night game where they were up, but had like a minute and 30 left and a super long, like third and I don't know how long from the Eagles, and he just didn't call a timeout to try to get one more score in before the half? Like,
yeah.
that's the dumb
He's
shit
just- yeah,
McCarthy
he's-
does as a coach, that in a close game, I don't
It
trust
can
him.
cost you.
Exactly.
So when I look at it, and I'm like I said, everyone knows it. I'm a Panthers fan. The Panthers haven't played anybody. Like
That's true.
This is by far. You can say, "Oh, the Panthers have this highly ranked defense. The defense has been so good," but they haven't played anybody.
That's true. And they are missing McCaffrey. So
No
that's...
McCaffrey, but Mike Davis, Mike Davis had a good season for him
No.
last year. So
he's with the Falcons now.
yeah, and he's having a shit year. But anyway, I was like, so like maybe it's not the running back, it could be the system. I'm not trying to disparage Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's a monster. But like losing him last year they didn't really lose a lot of production there last season, but still that's a big loss. Losing J.C. Horn for this game is where I'm looking at them getting hurt the most. They haven't played an offense like this Cowboys offense, and I gotta see it to believe it. That's the thing. I gotta see them beat a team like this, and like, I think this week is when we learn how good the Panthers really are. If they can play the Cowboys really, really close in Dallas or get the win, I think it's time to say, hey, the Panthers might be a good team. They might be a good team. Maybe they're better than people were thinking. And look, if you go back to our initial video, I said I think the Panthers can be better than people think, but I still thought that was like a 7 or 8 wins, like maybe 7, maybe 8 wins. I didn't have them being a playoff team, obviously, but if they can pull this off, if they can even if they lose like a game by like 1 or 2, if they lose like 24-23, 24-21, something like that, I think that might open some people's eyes. Say, hey, maybe this Carolina team's good because the Cowboys played the Bucks tough. That's their one loss. They won on the road in LA against the Chargers, who's a really, really good team. I just think Dallas is the better team, and we'll see how good the Panthers are after this week. So, what do you think, Bucks?
Oh, so the Cowboys' offense, they're dynamic in almost every way,
Yes.
right? So right off the bat, the Panthers obviously they're going to be tested there. This is the first game where Darnold's not going to have the McCaffrey safety blanket, and he's gonna have to prove to me that he doesn't need it before.
But
I can
to be
safely
fair,
pick him.
he didn't have it for most of the game against Houston either, and he looked pretty good. He had an okay game. He didn't have a great one. He had an okay game.
It's also the Texans.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And
we'll
this
see.
Dallas
See.
Dallas defense is very improved from how it's been the last few years.
Agreed. And they don't have to worry about McCaffrey being everywhere. But we'll see. That game's going to be a really good game. It should be close. Unless, of course, the Panthers just can't stop a good offense. But
Right.
we'll have to see if the Cowboys can do it.
100%. So, all right. Moving on to the next game. We've got the Vikings and the Browns. Bucks has picked the Vikings, while Lucky, myself, and Gators have picked the Browns. So, Lucky, what makes you think the Vikings are going to pull the upset this week?
Bucks had them as the upset.
Oh, Bucks. Sorry, I'm sorry. I did.
I picked the Browns.
Yeah, Bucks. Sorry. What makes you think that the Vikings are going to pull the upset this week?
Man, honestly, I could see this game really going either way. I really like this Vikings offense.
I think it's going to be a knockdown dragout.
This game is going to be so good, but it's going to come down to if the Browns can run the ball and just keep it out of the Vikings' hands.
Yeah.
And if they do that and keep them off the field, it'll go the Browns' way, but this game honestly might be a shootout. It's another great game. And we're also going to need to see if Dalvin Cook plays, because that'll be huge if he doesn't.
All right, so Lucky, what are your thoughts on the Browns?
I think the Browns have looked good, and I expected them before the season to take a leap. They have a really good defense. I mean, regardless of how bad the Bears are, holding a team to like 60-something yards of total offense is pretty damn impressive, regardless of who the other team is. Yeah, and the Vikings defense has been just trash this season. So they have a decent enough offense. I think Odell Beckham being back his second game, as much as like sometimes they're like, oh yeah, Baker doesn't play as well when he has Odell. I mean, he looked fine. He played fine with Odell last week, was thrown to him well. So I just think the Browns are the better team because they've who else did they beat besides the Bears? I know they lost.
They lost to the
close
Chiefs.
one to the Chiefs.
Yeah, it was a really close game with the Chiefs.
Only lost.
Texans, they would have lost. Honestly, it was a close game until Tyrod got hurt.
I'm interested. Like Buck said, I'm interested to see if the Browns get the running game going this week, and I do think this is the game that they really bust out. I really do. As far as the running game goes, you know, you can only contain Nick Chubb and I'm blanking on his name.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. I don't know why I blanked on that name, but for so long, I think this is the game that running game really busts out. And I don't think this game gets out of hand, because I do think it'll be a close game. But I just think the Browns have the horses. I think the Browns are just the better team overall. They're at home, if I recall. They're at home, and yeah, I think the running game gets it going. I think the Browns pull out the win, but we'll see what happens. Moving on, we have the Dolphins and the Colts. Lucky Bucks and myself all picked the Dolphins, and Gators picked the Colts. Normally I would go to Gators here. Gators isn't here.
I don't know if, did you get my thing? I think I messaged you right before that I was changing my pick.
Let me double check real quick. We have a last second change here, folks.
Oh, I messaged you yesterday at noon that I was taking the Colts over the Dolphins instead.
You did message me that. That's my fault.
And I feel like I'm going to regret this. But
You did message me. I'm going to change that on the remind me after we record this, and I will change it on the doc.
yeah.
All right. So we have 2 picks for the Colts, 2 picks for the Dolphins. I'll go ahead and I'll just say I think this is 2 bad teams. And I think the Dolphins are less bad. I'm giving up my bold prediction preseason of the Colts making the playoffs. I have given up. I have given it up. I have thrown it away into the ether. That is bad picks. Carson Wentz. Just I shake my head.
Your Colts and Falcons can go in the same
Hey, the
box.
Falcons won last week. Okay? So I don't have to give up on them just yet. The Falcons won last week. So I think this pick is basically just me saying I'm done. I'm done trying to pick with my picks. I'm bailing on the Colts. I'm out. And I think isn't there one of their offensive linemen is on the IR now.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
Just saw that.
So yeah, that's another reason to not pick the Colts.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Bucks. What do you think?
I just think the Colts are bad. They were honestly one of the teams at the beginning I thought really weren't going to be shit. Because Carson Wentz honestly isn't shit, and their backup quarterback situation isn't good. It's not good at all.
That's very fair.
And Jonathan Taylor's banged up too with his knees. So what else can they rely on? This offense is probably going to be bad the rest of the season.
Yep. So Lucky, what made you change your mind, buddy?
I think I saw a report that the starting center for the Dolphins was out, and this was before I saw the Quentin Nelson news.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of thinking this was a game that was really a toss-up to me, because I also think they're two bad teams. I thought the Colts would be much better going into the season. So I guess I'm kind of thinking that maybe they'll turn it around a bit. Kind of doubt it.
For the sake of our playoff predictions, I hope you're right.
As much as Carson Wentz is not a good quarterback, he is still their starting quarterback that they have, whereas the Dolphins have their backup. So, Who knows?
All right.
I might regret this pick, but
we'll see what happens. Moving on. We have Washington versus the Falcons. Lucky picked Washington, while myself and Gators used this as our upset pick. I originally had a different pick as my upset pick, but that team is now the favorite, so I felt like I needed to change it.
Ravens.
Yeah, exactly. When that opened, the Ravens were 1 point under.
-1.
They were 1 point. They were +1. And I was looking at it today. I was like, you know what? I cannot, in good faith, keep this as my upset pick. So let me go back.
Bucks would have given you so much shit for that.
Let me go back and let me see, because Gators tried to make the Cowboys his upset pick. I was like, dude, they're 4-point favorites, dude. He's like, oh, when I looked at, they weren't favored. I was like, I don't know where that is. They've been like 4.5 points all week. I was like, I can't do that. So he changed it to this, and I was looking at my picks, and I was like, I think this would be my upset pick too.
Maybe with his camping, he was drinking a bit much and got the plus and minus messed up in his head.
He saw the records. He saw the records, and he was just like, oh, the Cowboys must not be favored. So, Lucky, what makes you think the old football team is going to pull it out this week?
Falcons are trash.
Hey, they won last week.
Against another really trash team.
Hey, that's all you got to do sometimes.
They're just really bad, and especially their defense is really bad. And I think I trust the football team's offense more than I trust Tyler Heineke more than Daniel Jones, which is crazy. But yeah, I think the football team's better. Ron Rivera's a good coach, and the Falcons are bad. I don't think they're going to win.
Buck, what do you think?
Yeah, I think both offenses are trash. I love Antonio Gibson on Washington, but I think people are finally realizing that Washington's defense it's good, but it's not that good.
That's another thing I saw too.
But Matt Ryan's been...
Yeah, Matt Ryan has been goddamn
awful.
Atrocious. Kyle Pitts has been shit.
He's been nothing.
Stop wearing wide receiver pads, you goddamn sicko. So, I just put it as I'd rather have the Falcons' offensive weapons than what Washington has. And I think there's potential that Calvin Ridley could go nuts in this game.
Yeah, I just kind of looked at it. I thought, both teams are bad. I just looked at this wrong team favored. Like, the Falcons are at home, and what has Washington shown that they should be a road favorite?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, So that's kind of the reason I took this. Like, would it surprise me at all if Washington won this game? Because the Falcons aren't good either. But I don't think Washington has shown me anything that makes me think, hey, this team should be a favorite on the road, no matter who they're playing. So, yeah, is it maybe worthy of being an upset of the week pick? Probably not, because the Falcons are bad. But at the same time, it's like, so is Washington, and they're on the road. So that's kind of the reason I went with several of the picks. Is like, I think this is bad team versus bad team, and this one's at home. Good team versus good team. This one's at home. Spoiler alert for a couple future picks. So yeah, that's basically it. Like, there's no deep reason, no deep thought between for why I picked the Falcons. It's just, hey, they're at home. I think they should probably be favored by a little bit. I'm not saying they should be like 3-point favorites, but that's just it. So, moving on, we have the Seahawks and the 49ers. Bucks took the Seahawks, while Gators, Lucky, and myself took the 49ers. And like I just said in the last one of my spoiler alert picks, I think this is good team versus good team, and I just picked the 49ers because they're at home. If it would have said, hey, this game's being played in Seattle, I probably would have picked Seattle. Seattle haven't been playing that great. People are going on about, early season Russ. Early season Russ has not been early season Russ, or at least the Seahawks as a team aren't playing like it. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. If the friction between, the players and Pete Carroll isn't as understated as they kind of want to play it off as, because there's rumors about it, and a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire. But so I don't know what's going on with the Seahawks, because Russell Wilson's really good. I do think Pete Carroll's a good coach, but I don't know. I think the 49ers have just been the better team so far, and they're at home. So, Lucky, what do you think?
I basically the same as you. I thought it was going to be close, and the Niners are at home, so pick that. And now it does concern me that I was seeing that Kittle might not play, which is concerning, because he does a lot for the offense. Yeah, besides his catching, he's probably the second best blocking tight end in the league. I think. Well, all around, like, blocking. I mean, I'm sure if you have like a specialist that's basically an offensive tackle, but like Gronk might have him beat still even in his old age. But besides that, like, Kittle is an amazing blocker, so he really helps their run game too. But I still think they're at home, and that's, like you said, that's kind of why I went with them as my pick.
This was the last game I picked. Like, I had a hard time picking this one.
I flip-flopped, but I saw that the Niners were at home, so.
But, yeah, it's the same for me. I flip-flopped. I just went with the better QB.
That's fair. 100%.
That's true.
At this point, yeah. I was like, which one would I trust to win this division game against teams that,
if it's
obviously.
Close, late. Yeah.
If it's close, there's only one quarterback I would trust.
100%.
It's not Garoppolo.
100% respect for it. Like, this game's a toss-up to me. 100%. Like, anyone have anything? All right, moving on.
Oh, yeah, nothing.
Moving on, we have the Cardinals and the Rams, and this is Buck's upset pick of the week. And the rest of us have the Rams. Same thing as last game. I think this is two really good teams. The Rams are at home. That's it. Not really much deep analysis went into it for this. It's just these are the last two games I picked. And that's just it. Rams have looked so far like the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. But
I agree.
Again, like, it wouldn't surprise me a single bit. Rams coming off a big win last week against the Bucks. Could have a little bit of a letdown. I don't think they would have a little bit of a letdown, just because this is a veteran team. They're used to winning. They're used to winning big games. They were in a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're used to winning big games. They're not going to get flustered by by beating the Bucks and turning around and having a matchup like this, with another undefeated team at this point in the season. But again, if the Cardinals win, it would not surprise me in the slightest because they've looked really, really good so far too. And it's just if this game was being played in Arizona, I probably would have picked the Cardinals. But I just looked at it as two good teams. I could see the game going either way. I'm gonna pick the team that's playing at home. So, Bucks, what do you think?
Oh man, this one was another one where it's just.
I think this is wishful thinking from. I think this is wishful thinking from your part, hoping the Rams will get a loss.
Well, the thing is, like, the Cardinals' offense is really good.
Yes, it is.
Kyler can get them out of all sorts of shit. Like, if Donald busts through the line, Murray's out. He's out. That's the only hope. And just the offense is really good. Seeing Ramsey against Hopkins is gonna be a hell of a watch. It's gonna be fun. They'll both be barking back at each other. It's gonna be a really good game. It's all gonna come down to if the Cardinals D-line can hold the run, and if they could make Stafford throw off schedule.
Yeah.
And if they could slow down Kupp. Because at this point, just have a safety over top and just help with Kupp. Let the other guys beat you.
Yeah.
You know? But we'll see. It's going to be a good game. Cardinals have been very kind to me so far.
Yes, they have.
This season. So I'm gonna keep rolling with them.
So, Lucky, what are your thoughts?
I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC, like the most complete team, because they have they're the one team I see that has, and maybe even in the NFL, like they're the one team I see. Maybe Buffalo if they're clicking,
If you take away the week one, like that, I don't know what that was against the Steelers for the Buffalo. If you take away week one, Buffalo has been the most impressive team.
Have had an offense that's clicking and a defense that can stop other teams too. Like, is the Bucs offense better than the Rams? Maybe. Their defense is nowhere close to what the Rams are, especially in their secondary. Packers, I still don't trust their defense. So I think the Rams are the best team, and being at home, like the best team should almost always be favored at home. And I mean, they were also. Have you seen Sean McVay's record versus Cliff Kingsbury?
I have not.
It's I think it's only 4-0, but I'm pretty sure all of the games have been blowouts. It does not look pretty for Kingsbury versus McVay. So yeah.
So, all right. So moving on. All we have left is the games that we all agree on. We all like the Titans over the Jets for obvious reasons. I was surprised.
Yeah, don't even need to bother.
I was surprised no one had that as their lock. That was my second lock of the week. Like, if I hadn't picked the game I picked to be my lock, that's the game I would have picked to be my lock.
Did you pick the lock of the team that's favored by 17?
I don't know what I don't know what the line was. We'll get to the locks. Everyone's lock is here. We have yet to have a game where we have a lock and we have a disagreement. I'm waiting for that too. Anyway, next game we all agree on is Kansas City. We have the Chiefs over the Eagles. I thought about that a little bit. The Chiefs have not looked that impressive yet. Like they really haven't. I mean, granted, I think it's only a matter of time before they figure it out. But still, I thought maybe someone might get a little cheeky, pick the Eagles. But I mean, everyone.
If Jalen Hurts looked better last week, maybe.
Right. So next we have everyone likes the Saints over the Giants. That is Bucks lock.
The Giants fucking suck.
Yeah, the Giants are awful.
Oh, I'm surprised, you being a Bucks fan, that you picked a game with Jameis starting as your lock.
Well, it's
I know the Saints are the much better team, but it's just Jameis.
That's fair, right? Lucky brings up a very good point.
As much as they're favored,
fumble, or will Jameis throw a pick? Which one?
That's true. That's true. I will probably never pick the Saints for a lock this year specifically because of Jameis.
That's true. That's a very, very, very fair point. Next up is my lock, which is the Bills over the Texans.
Yes,
Yep.
the 17-point favorite.
Okay. Well, I mean, to me that looked like the easiest lock of the week, so I don't know.
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's a hell of a lock.
Probably is.
Next up is we all think the Packers beat the Steelers. That is Gators lock.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about picking I mean, granted, the Steelers have not looked good after week 1,
Big Ben looks like
but
shit.
Mike Tomlin's a heck of a coach. Big Ben looks awful. Oh,
He looks really
he needs
bad.
he needs to
looks
hang it
really
up after
bad.
this year. He really does. Unless he gets some kind of Tom Brady youth serum into him, he needs to get his hanging up after this season.
This is gonna be the one game I think the Packers defense is gonna look good.
We all like the Ravens over the Broncos.
Hey, now they actually looked pretty good against the Niners for the most part.
That is
besides,
true. That is true.
besides some pass interference calls, but
we all like the Ravens
Whatever.
over the Broncos. My former upset pick of the week.
Yep.
yeah, there was no way they should have been.
No, that's why whenever I saw it, I was like, that's my upset.
I thought about it, and then I'm like, this might move, and also that I was also kind of like, man, Bucks is gonna give me shit if I pick another.
I could have
upset
done it
rat.
and just been like, hey, whenever I made the pick,
The only
they were
reason
dogs.
why it's because of being in the altitude. It's always like that. It's stupid.
And then
They
we have,
always bump that a little bit just because an opposing team going into that altitude.
Tampa Bay, the return. The Bucks, we all
Oh,
like
Brady's
the
gonna
Bucks.
Brady's gonna throw for 600
I agree.
yards.
Brady's gonna throw it.
I hope so.
He's gonna throw.
I really
He's
hope
gonna
so.
throw like 5 or 6 touchdowns.
I'm just worried there's going to be
He might
a shootout.
pull the helicopter dick move of the century, throw a touchdown pass, and then just go hand it to Belichick. He might just pull the helicopter dick move and just do that. I would lose my mind if he did it. I think it'd be fucking hilarious if he did it.
Now,
And I hate
let me-
Tom Brady. I think it'd be
let me
hilarious.
pick your brain about this. What if they throw him off his game by giving him such a tribute? He's in his feelings that game, and he's just completely
Tom Brady,
thrown off.
whenever
by
it comes to competition, Tom Brady doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, but this is different.
Oh,
He wants to
yeah, but
win.
Yeah, but-
but the Bucks are also a much better team.
That is also true. I'm
Yes.
just worried. There's a chance
If-
that all 3 of our cornerbacks are going to be out.
If the teams were closer, I maybe would have thought about
Yeah,
it. But the Bucks
absolutely.
are just
The New
a
England
much
has
better
not
team.
looked good all season.
yeah. So this is if I don't know if Big L said this is my lock. of
This
locks.
is I was getting there. This is Lucky's lock, and he said it is the lock of locks. His
and
stone cold lock of
and
the
it-
century of the week.
Yep. And if for some reason it goes south, I'm not gonna be sad
I won't
because
be
that
upset
means the
about
Bucks lost.
If I lose this game,
Because that means the Bucks
I'm
lost.
happy.
and I'll be like,
I'm not
"Hey."
upset.
But no,
And
they're
then,
not going to. This
moving
is
on.
my.
Moving on. This is another game. I kind of thought someone might pick the Raiders. The Raiders have looked good. Everyone picked the Chargers over the Raiders. And I thought this game was kind of a toss-up, honestly. Like, the Chargers have looked really, really good. But so have the Raiders. The Raiders have beaten some pretty decent teams. Like, so, I mean, I think the Chargers are the better team. But I think it's kind of like the same situation as it is with the Panthers. Like, we need to see, like, when are we gonna say, hey, this might be a good team? And with the Raiders.
For the Raiders?
Yeah, when are we gonna say this might be a pretty good team?
Yeah. I mean, they are.
Because, like,
They're
I don't
they're
know.
the
And I thought about it. Did
division
anyone else
leader
think
right
about this
now.
game?
I did. But
But then you stopped
I don't know. Yeah, I thought about it for a bit, and then I was just like, I don't know. It's still hard to trust the Raiders.
All right. Well, I think the video that has this music is ending in like 2 minutes, so we need to wrap it up. Does anyone have anything
Wow.
to add?
No. I don't think.
So,
Go Pack, go!
all right. So that's gonna do it for us this week. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe if you liked it. Let us know your picks down below if you have any disagreements. And we'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the football. Enjoy whatever you watch. And hey, go Braves! We're gonna do the chop all up in Milwaukee. Gonna
Go
be
Brewers.
chopping
Go
it up in
Brewers.
Milwaukee. And yeah, we'll catch you guys
Baseball
later.
sucks.
Have a
Baseball
good one.
sucks. Go football.